This is the Khoodeelaar television channel, Khoodeelaar television channel being broadcast only on the internet under the banner of Baby Angel Geronimo Manifesto editions, accompanied by Baby Angel's KG1, the Baby Angel's K. Jordan's Kittens ones, and the Baby Angel's Princess Regent kitten ones. The black and white one, the grey one, and the Shuri Luke one. This is Saturday the 21st. Saturday the 21st of September 2024. The places that the kittens have been existing in across the East London area, situated within the borough of Tower Hamlets and Newham, include the following: New Road, Mardle Street, Settle Street, Parfait Street, Fieldgate Street, Brick Lane, and Nelson Gardens in E2. The Information Commissioner for England and Wales has got a bureaucratic standard type of response to any complaints made to it, that is an organization. Although it's called commissioner, it is an actual organization. And it's over bureaucratized, and it's still based on the assumption of non-disclosure and institutional recalcitrance, denial, refusal, reluctance, hostility towards disclosure and transparency. So, for example, the request that I have made, based on the documents, data, materials that have been stolen, removed, taken away in the course of the years, let's say, of my battle over the last, let's say, 6 decades. This is something that the structure of the Information Commissioner not equipped to deal with. I don't think any organization can deal with this. How many persons have been, for 6 decades, let's say, to take this case, trying to settle down and start doing some heavy duty writing work? There is only one person, that's me. So when the standard response comes to me saying things like, have you copies of correspondence with the data controller, etc., What they assume has been happening is that I have been settled in one place, secure, protected from any invasion, intrusion, raids, attacks, thefts, etc. What I've been having to deal with in the last 6 decades in context is unprecedented anywhere. And I include the collections, Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., and the Bodleian Libraries in connected with the Oxford University, and including in between all varieties and dimensions and descriptions of libraries. No library that can be cited by anyone anywhere on the planet Earth today has been the result or consequence of anything like the displacement, obstruction, eviction that I've been having to deal with for the last 6 decades. If there were to deal with the kind of challenge that I have been having to deal with, including up to this morning, Saturday, the 21st of September 2024, those institutions, libraries, would not have developed, would not have been in existence. And it's more than 100 years, I think, since Tagore wrote that essay on libraries. বৎসরের কল্লোল কেহ যদি এমন করিয়া বাঁধিয়া রাখিতে পারিত. There is a sleeping child. If someone, anyone, could hold the ripples of the great ocean of 100 years, if anyone, someone could do that, then the collected, posed contents, the wealth, the knowledge that that would represent would be similar to the knowledge and wealth to be found in a library. This is the most powerful sentence, opening sentence, Maha Samudrer, Shadavar, Kollol, Kahajodi, Eman Koriye Badia Rakite Parit. It's in the tradition of unique, absolutely unique essay. That essay, that description of the library, absolutely unparalleled in the history of thought, philosophy, writing, intelligence. The piece in Friday's London Times by Laura Freeman, tribute to Melvin Bragg, public libraries. What does she know about libraries that are functioning? It is easier to say something about libraries that have been abolished or scrapped or closed down. But how possible is it to really give a practical, realistic, truthful, live description of a library that is actually functioning? Because most of the libraries that I know that are still functioning are not really functioning. How do I mean that? Well, the libraries are collections, books, etc., as Tagore described them 100 years ago. But the London libraries are full of stock books that are mainly fiction, almost 90% fiction. And the 90% of the fiction is very low caliber. Contrast the three books that I have been currently, well, I have included in the current examination. One by Will Hutton, No More Mistakes, and Politoanby's Uneasy Inheritance, My Family and Other Radicals, and West Streeting about his extremely poverty stricken childhood on the Clichy estate in Stepney in Tower Hamlets. Now, these are the three documentary factual books that I've been examining among the other things. The other things including Lenny Henry's Who Am I, again. But including Lenny Henry's and Polito Envy's and Will Hutton's, even the crime investigator, Chris Atkins, who has been in the news both about Hugh Edwards and now about in the Mail, Daily Mail on Friday, I think, about Muhammad Al Fayed of Herald's and the kind of obstructions that the judiciary represents against transparency, etc., etc. All the contents of the books, the overwhelming majority of the books that are the contents of the libraries, really fall way, way, way short of the definition that Tagore or Rabindranath Tagore gave to library. And I agree with Tagore, not because I want to agree with him or that he's not a European, and I may be biased against European philosophers, etc. But because my experience over the last, let's say, 6 decades or longer, my experience in the very beginning of my acquaintance with libraries that started in Silot. When I first visited the Central Muslim literary society, কেন্দ্রীয় মুসলিম সাহিত্য সংসদ. Just before you enter the shrine area of the Saint Hazrat Shahjalan, at that meeting I met the late revered Mr. Muhammad Nurul Haq, exceptional, exceptionally welcoming head of the library, curator of the library, the like of whom doesn't exist, has not existed in Silot or in East Pakistan at that time. Just on a material basis, the resources that the US administrations put in maintaining what they used to call USIS, United States Information Service, was intentionally, grotesquely miles above the standard of any local country's input in their own educational facilities for the equivalent of libraries. The USIS libraries were so materially such a high quality standard. I have not seen any like of that anywhere. And I've tried in London for the last nearly 6 decades. Nothing compares with the high standard of the cards, the reception, and the maintenance of the collection. Absolutely fantastic. Now, if there is a propaganda there, the United States Information Service, that propaganda was unparalleled by any other state. And the presentation itself easily, with no doubt, beat any likely competition or real competition. So I have covered the Library of Congress. Even the Library of Congress cannot compete with the United States Information Service, which was maintained by the American Foreign Operations. Absolutely amazing collection. Contrary to whatever the reservations, and there are more reservations than agreements about the contents and the purpose. The USIS library system or USIS information service, in my experience, remains the most attractive offer. I've seen the British Library operations. Does not come anywhere near. It was the British Library in Dhaka, then East Pakistan, that I visited when I had a physical, actual contract with the Daily Mail. Which, in my recollection, was in broadsheet size. So this is now 20 minutes, just over 20 minutes. We shall be updating in due course, of course, after I have picked up or purchased the Saturday editions of the papers, and it will be continued and updated. This is now 6:28 hours GMT.